Welcome to another episode of Two Ales and Hockey Tales with Wally. And today I am so excited to have on a 29-year-old from Jackson Hole, Wyoming, USA, a 7th-round draft pick of the Chicago Blackhawks. His hockey journey has taken him to the USA, Hungary, beautiful Weißwasser or Whitewater, Germany, and Wales. He returns to the shed for his 4th appearance in the Two Ales Hockey League. His solo effort is a top 5 performer with 769 saves, which helped start a Twix movement in Wales. His second appearance, legs and eggs with Mac and Mosey, 750 saves or goals. And this fella was nice enough to come on in episode 92 to meet Knox, my U11 starting and only goalie. And he gave him tips on how to goalie, what equipment to wear. And this season with the Cardiff Devils, is cruising with a 9.24 save percentage, a 2.38 goals against average, and 3 shutouts, and has littered the ice with Twix. Welcome back to the shed, Mac Carruth.
Thanks for having me. That's an intro there. Jeez.
Well, yeah, and all this stuff is happening from the shed, and it's because of guys like you coming on. And I get into how we know each other, and you know what? You made my heart pump a little faster yesterday, or whenever I asked you to do this. I said, will you please come on again? We got lots to talk about. And you said to me, and I quote, I don't know what there is to chat about again, but I'm always in for a pod with you. So thank you.
No worries.
I'll figure out what we could talk about.
All right.
But seriously, thank you. Because it's guys like you that make the time for me is the only reason I can do this. So thank you. Okay. How else we know each other? We never talked about legs and eggs as your agent came on, eh? David Monty.
Oh yeah, Big Dave.
Episode 84. So he had mentioned something about playing senior hockey in his playing days. And was he playing in your old man's tournaments then?
Oh my gosh, my mom sent me Christmas stuff. And yeah, so they play in like the league. And like that's how my dad and Dave know each other, but they just sent me the program.
And that's for the tournament coming up?
No, that's for like
that's for the league.
That's for the league. This is my dad's team. Yeah. Oh yeah. It's got the full on send.
Wow. A full program.
Oh yeah.
How many fans are they getting?
I would assume, but
he should teach me a thing or two. I guess I should get some sponsors or something for this.
My best man gets a full page layout.
AJ Sanders. Shout out AJ. What position?
Goal scorer there.
And who does he play for?
The Moose. Yeah, the Jackson Hole Moose represent.
The Jackson Hole Moose?
Yeah.
Wow. So how are they doing this season?
I don't know. They're probably like 13-0 or something crazy like that. They like beat teams like 8-0.
Is your old man running the show then? He's the guy?
He used to be the coach, and that got a bit much for him, I think. Like he just gets he wears the dude sweater from he wears that sweater out there. He's kind of a bit of a character, kind of like myself. The apple doesn't fall too far from the tree there.
Well, if you listen to episode 99, that's very true. My old man is on.
He like if it's not going well or whatever, he'll just tell the ref like, hey, you got to kick me out. I'm going to cause a scene. Like just get the people into it. He's an entertainer.
And you know what? Hockey is entertainment. And we'll get into episode 100 when that guy was looking for entertainment. But no, I saw actually a couple pictures. I think it was on Instagram, and those arenas looked like the fans were having fun. Like it looked like hockey the way it should be. Fans interacting with the players and on the ice, and it looked like they were having fun.
Oh yeah, Friday, Saturday games. I think they play like 26 home games and then 2 road games, 3 road games, something like that. They go to the Waste Management as a team every year in Arizona, and
like the golf tournament.
They all dress up in caddy outfits and stuff, and stay at an Airbnb and just have.
So they're having no fun then, eh?
Oh, zero fun.
Yeah, and then, they're probably not getting paid much, right?
Yeah. Oh, nothing. Like my dad can find them if they need to find jobs. My dad will find them a job in town or whatever. But I remember one of my first memories. So speaking about having fun, their mascot. My mom actually made this logo, and my grandmother was like big into sewing. She made the moose mascot, like the head and the antlers and stuff. And one of my dad's buddies, Steve Tadigan is his name. So every weekend they would get kegs on the ice and he would jump over the kegs, like they'd line them up, whatever.
On
and
the
so
ice?
Start out the year, like jump over a couple kegs. The next night he'd add a keg. And then like as the year went on, he would just keep adding kegs.
You know what it's kind of like? It's kind of like doing a pregame speech for the Cardiff Devils. And then each one has to get progressively bigger and bigger until you're doing
less clothes for you.
Well, they were all naked. It was just more outrageous, I guess. More paint, more weapons, you could say.
Yeah.
Was already packing one though.
The Jackie Moon.
But yeah, that when I saw the pictures of it, it looked like the way I like to think of hockey, of like the players having fun playing and like leaving it all on the ice and enjoying being a hockey player, not doing it for the money, because nobody in the UK is doing it for the money either. But my goodness, the stuff I've seen on social media after a loss, I tell you, they're like my U11 parents. We win a game and we're in the hotel. They're like, oh my gosh, can we be a minor hockey team together forever? And then you lose the next day and it's like, you suck, you're cool, you suck. And it's like, are you guys serious? Like, it's a game and we're supposed to be enjoying the atmosphere. And if you're that negative, the next time you come, you're probably not going to want to be there that much. Just thinking out loud. Right, Mac? What do you you shouldn't say anything. Let me talk. Okay.
They're very passionate. I enjoy the passion.
Well, they are very passionate, but like, you know, I don't know, man. I guess it's the expectations, because like I see one week it's like, oh, 4-point weekend, we're the best. We're awesome. And then you lose a game and it's like, no passion, no emotion. These guys don't care. I don't want any of these guys back. I want 4 of them back. I want 5 of them back. None of these guys. And it's like, are you guys serious? Next game, somebody might toe drag somebody and then you'll be all hard as wood again, right? Bunch of punks. Don't be punks, folks. Be like the fans I had on the podcast that go to the games and enjoy it. Okay? Don't say anything, Mac. Okay. Moving on. Let's be more positive. Okay. I want to talk about actually Jackson Hole more before we move on. Okay.
There we go.
It came up on my favorite TV show, the only one I watch, Yellowstone.
Oh yeah.
Right. So are there cowboys there?
Yeah.
Like real ones?
Oh yeah. Like
we have fake ones here.
Like cow hands and stuff, or like ranch hands.
Yeah. Really? Eh? Yeah.
Yeah. We have a rodeo 2 times a week.
Twice a week, a rodeo.
Yeah, Saturday, Wednesday.
What all goes on at that?
Bull riding, broncs, barrel racing, calf roping. They do it all.
Huh. Cool. So that's like what people do for fun. That's like hockey in Canada, right? Like,
oh yeah. Well, it's like a big tourist town, right? So like they sell tickets all over town and stuff like that.
That's what people are into. That's cool. I really like that show. So what's the one where they run really fast and then just make the horse stop? What's that called?
I'm not sure what that's called. I don't know if they do that at the rodeo yet in Jackson, but I could be wrong. Haven't been in a while.
Yeah, no, it's interesting stuff. So that is what it's like there, eh? So I don't. How big's Jackson Hole?
It's not very big. It kind of like booms in the winter and the summer, like 4 months here, 4 months there, and then there's kind of an off season.
What are people coming in for?
Well, there's a ski resort in town and then just outside of town, like 20 minutes outside of town. And then Yellowstone's about 45 minutes away. So
it's just like the show. That's where you grew up. Small.
Yeah.
That's what I've been into. Cool stuff. And yeah, they're trying to build the ski resort in the show. Very emotional.
Oh, yeah. A lot of small town politics going on right there right now. So
yeah,
it's always fun to call home and see what's going on.
Okay. Anyways, I was just curious for me. So other part of how we know each other was a Monty, and I just had his partner on. Last episode was Pat Curcio, and he deals with a few of the other countries for that agency. So have you ever dealt with him?
I do not think so. No, I'm sure Dave has tried to get a hold of him in recent summers, I'm sure, when I've been jobless, but not as of lately.
Okay. The other part, I got a little wound up there speaking to the fans just because of all the negativity I've seen. Yeah, sorry, folks. I know this is a positive pod, and you don't listen to this to hear me complaining, but like you got to know Noxie, and like it's funny for me because I was so out of the game for 5 years, and now I'm like into it again, and I see the highs and lows of a season. And it's like, man, I forgot how like one day you feel like a hero, the next day you feel like a zero. And it's like trying to find like that middle ground of like just showing up and like kind of being a robot, right?
Oh yeah, even keel, baby.
Yeah. So is that? Yeah, I remember trying to do that. But anyways, I don't know if you like. So what happened with Noxie there? We won that tournament. You came on and met him, and we were as high as the highest peak of Yellowstone. But then the next tournament we lose in a shootout, right? And like, it was craziness, but like, and you see all these kids crying, and then it was the lowest of lows, and it's like,
oh yeah,
whew, you don't podcast about this shit.
no, you gotta learn to hate that stuff and move on and deal with it a bit.
Yeah, man. That night I had to go, or that day I had to go in and give a speech to like 12, 14 kids, 10 years old that were just bawling their eyes out. And I was like, this is so different than hitting the restaurant and filling the trophy with Coca-Cola,
Oh yeah.
Winning and losing is the exact opposite, fans. So try and stay even keel. Okay. Try to. I know it's hard because we're as angry as anybody as the players or the coach for that matter. I got kicked out last game.
Nice.
Yeah. Kicked out of a minor hockey game. Never would have guessed that would happen to me.
Bad refs or what?
Fun fact is the ref used to work at the company I work at still. I don't think he's that much of a hockey guy, but let's just say there should have been a penalty. I didn't even say anything. Didn't even yell, no cursing. I just put my hands up in the air. And he said, don't do that. I said, well, that's a penalty. Just because he didn't fall down, still a penalty. And then he called the penalty on both teams. So I yelled, is it 5-on-5? And as soon as I yelled that, he said, you're out of here.
Nice. This guy seems like he has thick skin and should be a ref.
Right. Just a touch sensitive, big guy. I had to go out to, so when it happens, my little guys are like look at me like their dog's been shot. And they're like, do you really have to leave? They're like, you just asked if it was 5-on-5. I'm like, I know. I'm like, I think I might have to leave, guys. And the other coach is like, he's only asking if it's 5-on-5. He goes, he showed me no respect when he put his arms up. And he looks over and he says, you get out of here. So that the coach had to run the bench, D and forwards by himself, nobody else to help. And we never did pull her out, but I got to stand in the lobby and like try and watch the game around the pillar. It was pretty fun. Good times, minor hockey.
Oh gosh.
That ref something. Okay. Episode 100. Let's get into this. Okay. David Sims comes into the shed.
Oh boy.
And he says that you turned down Barry Brust, right? And he was just mixing the pot, eh?
From what I've heard, he does like to do that from time to time.
Well, he's pretty good at it. He gets a lot of listens in the shed. There was a lot of buzz around that game.
Oh yeah.
And then that guy didn't even come, eh?
Yeah, I guess from what I've seen lately, they're only dressing one of their import goalies. So
they have two on the roster, but they only dress one to dress another import.
Yeah, that's
one of those big budget teams, eh, David? Big budget teams paying an extra import. I got you. Catch up to you with team dynamics by the end, Dave. But anyways, okay. So yeah, he doesn't show up though. He wasn't there. So then that's what they've been doing. So then the next game, he doesn't have the other goalie to come in, say if anything shall to happen.
Yeah, and obviously I do, but it is what it is. I don't know.
I find it very interesting that you can come into the shed, organize a goalie fight with me, and then it not be able to happen. Like, I don't think you were scared, but do you know how?
I mean, I had to answer a few questions for sure around Cardiff lately about it.
Sorry, man. I'm just having fun in my shed. I'm just having fun.
I'm like, yeah. I mean, I had a shutout going. I don't know. Like, it wasn't like he like had all his stuff off and was at the red line. It was
right, and it's not like he had done something that vicious that you're like, oh, I better go do something.
No, it was just kind of me playing my game, like trying to play on the edge and kind of get into it and have players chirp me, and that kind of fuels my fire a little bit, and end up working out. We won, right? But he's kind of the same way too, right? I don't know if he's ever really been in like an altercation with gloves off from what I've seen, but he does like the same kind of thing, like use players to get his fire going a little bit, you know?
Okay, well,
he did take a suspension too. I don't know.
I never really did get to talk to you about like the whole thing. Once it happened, I kind of felt like Don King in my shed, like I was setting up goalie fights, and I thought it was really, really cool. I still wish it would happen, whether you guys want to or not. I still think it'd be cool. But this is like how into the game I am again, you know, just from talking to people in my shed. I haven't really got any Twitter support from the Cardiff Devils throughout my 108 episodes now. But I got a message from Todd, who was a former episode, and he said to me, he will start supporting the pod on Twitter. Didn't realize they weren't until fans brought it up to him. And then he wrote, we wrote it to each other, just a line or two about episode 100. And I think he might have thought Simsy was stirring the pot, because this was what he wrote. Mac thinks he is going to fight. No effing chance. Sheffield are just trying to rattle him to get him off his game. He's the best goalie in the league, and I don't need that really, really in shape Barry Breast taking Mac out of the game with a fight. And I said to him, you can't challenge a competitor and then not let him go. But there's no way like you could stop him. It was like when I got in my big fight in Cardiff against this Noble character, when he took out a guy afterwards, Todd came up to me. He's like, hey man, like, it's great you fought and all, but like Salters and Batchy were on the ice too. And I was like, well, yeah, but I think fights can bring teams together. Kind of like going out for a night.
I mean, if it happens organically, I'm all about it, right?
Yeah, so. But when it's just some guy talking in his shed, that's pretty weird, especially like the week before the game.
I saw that Simsy was going on and Mosey was talking to me about it, and then like I asked like Richie about it, and a bunch of like fans are tweeting me like, "Don't worry, he just likes to stir the pot," and they were kind of going after him a bit. I was like, I mean, I think it's kind of funny. Like, I don't think we need to get too upset about this thing.
Well, I thought it was really exciting. Who knew what was actually going to happen, but like, it was just exactly. Funny. It's funny, and it's fun to be part of the game again. So thanks, folks. Thanks for listening. So have you had any goalie fighting experience in the past?
Yeah, I fought in juniors twice, 2 goalies. And then I fought like players in juniors as well.
That's a while ago now.
Yeah, it's been a while. I don't know. I've gotten punched in the head a few times since then, so I still know I can take a punch. So
yeah, okay.
That's half the battle.
It was funny because in episode 84, before all this is back at episode 84. I remember your agent David Amonte saying Mac will fight at least once this season. But it's great when it happens organically. That's the only way you can fight. It's when something happens on the ice. It can't be planned. That's all the baloney that got hockey out of, or fighting out of hockey, right?
Yeah. Planned scraps.
Yeah. The organic ones are the good ones. Okay. Moving on. I don't know what I was going to talk about now. Yeah, I haven't brought this up. Where and what are you doing now?
Cardiff, sitting in the living room. We got a 8 a.m. practice tomorrow, and that's it.
Okay. Tomorrow's what? Christmas Eve. And then,
Steve, yeah.
so then what goes on from here? I heard you guys are not playing in front of fans.
So last night, unfortunately, it was our last like scheduled game with fans, and we lost, obviously. So that was a big disappointment. Yeah, didn't have a lot of push from anybody, but so that was disappointing. But then we go to Coventry, played Coventry 3 times in a row because we were supposed to play Manchester yesterday, but they had a COVID case.
So if they have one case, the whole team doesn't come. Is that how it works?
I guess so. And I thought it was 5.
Because I talked to Batchy earlier this year, and you guys were still playing, and he said like he was out, right?
Yeah, I think with this new variant, whatever it's called, like
now it's back. Now it's only
yeah, it's up to the teams, I think maybe. But we're testing all the time and stuff. So if we have it, we have it. I think, it is what it is. I don't want to get too political about it, but they had 1 case, I guess, and then so they canceled their trip here, and then I guess Todd scrambling. Obviously, it was our last chance to get a home game in before everything went lockdown, and Coventry, I guess, was just getting off of practice, and they said, "Yeah, we'll come play."
And so that was the morning of the game.
Yeah, that was the morning. That was at like noon. Like they found out at noon they're playing.
Well, folks, I haven't asked anybody.
Tip my hat to them.
Yeah, I haven't asked anybody. Haven't talked to any players, but I know you guys had a frustrating game last night, and basically Coventry has nothing to lose. They're being the good sports. They're just showing up and being loosey-goosey and going to play. You guys have so much pressure because, if you lose a game, there's going to be negativity and blah, 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 blah. But anyways, the whole thing is, I say it all the time on here. Hockey players play better when they're happy, when they're enjoying their life, when they're having fun. And with all this shit going on with COVID, players missed a season. They sat around, did nothing. Some were lucky enough to play. And now with this shit coming again, it's like, how could you guys have been that focused on that game? Like, as a player, as a professional, and as fathers, as husbands, like, this shit can't happen again.
Yeah, it's definitely a bit nerve-wracking. Obviously, like, nothing like whatever, like you see fans online saying, well, if we can't have fans, what's the point of playing? Well, some of us kind of rely on this for, an income as small as it is right now.
Yeah, like that's how you pay your bills, right?
I still have bills to pay. And it's like I would love to play in fans, obviously the whole year, but if we can find a way to play out the rest of the season, I hope there is fans, but if there's not,
you still want to play.
Not that it's just a job to me at all. Like, I obviously care maybe too much sometimes, but yeah, we still do need a paycheck every once in a while.
Yeah, exactly. Like, there's literally a bunch of guys that were like, am I a hockey player still for last season? And then they finally do get back, and you get back in the swing of things. And like, man, yeah, I think they got to find
on the turn of a hat here, really. Like, it's we were fine, we were buzzing, and all of a sudden this variant came, and it was like, nope, hit the brakes. You're not over it yet.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't like talking about this shit on here, but I honestly, I can't imagine what's going through guys' heads. It's like, let's just fucking play, right?
Yeah, like, we played in Germany last year. Obviously, it's a sponsorship league, not a fans in the stands league. So it's a bit different, a bit more secure. But yeah, it's pins and needles around here right now.
Yeah. And then with them switching teams the morning of the game, and it's like, with everything going on, sometimes when there's a lot going on in your brain, your legs don't feel as powerful when you're skating. That's just from my experiences. There's just not quite as much jam in there when your brain's racing. But when you're in the groove, when you're in the zone and everything's, just funky, then that's when you play really well.
When you're having fun. Yeah.
Things are positive. People are enjoying themselves at the rink. Anyways, so then I saw you guys were in the quarterfinals against Dundee and it got like postponed. So is that like even rescheduled?
I'm sure we'll reschedule it, I would assume. That's obviously a big deal. Kind of shot ourselves in the foot there. We're down 2-0 going into the opening puck drop.
Yeah.
But Batchy's told me like they were down like 6-0 to I think maybe Sheffield or something one year, and they came back and won it. It was wild.
I remember them being down like by 5 or 6 going into the final game and them like actually pulling it out. And it's the whole thing of like the home and the combined score is very bizarre, isn't it?
Yeah, I've never been a part of something like that before. And obviously like we had some issues in the penalty box in that game. Like we were on like penalty kill for 25 minutes.
Right. And that's the series. That's the playoff series.
Yeah. So for us to come out with just a 2-0 deficit there, I think was kind of big. So yeah, for sure. Take the positives out of it,
Got to look for the positives. But yeah, I look forward to you guys coming back in that one. So you got any Christmas plans? I guess you got practice tomorrow. So then what about Christmas Day? You get that one off?
Oh, no, we got practice there too. We got a game on the 26th in Coventry. So no rest for the wicked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I remember those days of practicing around Christmas. And I remember in Germany, that's when they would plan the most games was around Christmas because that's when fans had off, right?
Yeah, we've had 3 games a week here all December. So
that's busy, eh?
Well, busy for Europe.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, curious question. Just because I don't know. How much video goes on in hockey these days?
I would say quite a bit.
As an individual and as a team?
So I get my own clips and then I send them off. We don't have a goalie coach here, so I send them off to like a guy that Todd pays to like watch video with me back in Canada. And then obviously we have the team stuff, right? So I'd say on average, probably 10 minutes of video a day, like some negatives and stuff to work on, and then finish it off with a couple positives and then hit the ice.
I don't think I had watched video on myself really until pro. College, I think we always watched the other team's stuff. If we ever watched video, we really didn't. We just went over a pre-scout, which was a piece of paper that like showed where the guys would stand. There wasn't video actually. So yeah, I didn't watch video and I always hated it. Couldn't stand it because when you watch it, you're like, yeah, well, if I knew he was there, I would have passed it to him,
It's a little different with a bird's eye view, eh?
It's like watching from the stands, right? Like,
yeah, it looks a lot slower on camera.
Say if you're a parent or a fan, right? Moving on. Shout out to episode 66. Derek Nesbit played his 1000th pro game last night. So that's pretty impressive. He was playing for the Atlanta Gladiators in the Coast last night.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It looked like research team was hot because I know you're both part of Chicago, but he was well before your time. He was a 2010 Rockford Ice Hog.
Yeah, that been young buck Mac Carruth was just coming in, getting drafted.
Oh, getting drafted around that time? Okay.
Yeah.
And the other update I should give people since we're slipping in a pod pre-Christmas is for the Muirs update. We ended up selling 557 tickets. Andrew Moody won my jersey. Jay Williams won Dixon's, and Callum Phillips won the Gratz 99ers. And it was pretty cool. I'm still waiting. The raffle thing or whatever that gives me the money still says it's withdrawal in progress. I was really hoping that would have been done by today so I could have got it out and taken it to them before Christmas, but it is still in withdrawal in progress. So I guess they'll get it after Christmas. But anyways, my jersey that was in my closet, well, it's pretty cool how the hockey world came together for us, for them.
Yeah, you guys are crushing it.
Yeah, my jersey raised gross 672 pounds.
Oh
just
yeah.
absolutely banana lands. But after the service fee to these people that are still withdrawing the fee, I made just over 600 pounds with a jersey that probably more than likely would have sat in my closet the rest of my life. And then it would have been given to someone after I passed. So thank you. And I'm glad I started the shed so I could help them out. Cause that's pretty cool that happened. So thank you to everybody that bought tickets and supported it. You know,
It's good stuff, man.
be nice if I could get the money to them.
Yeah, that's a little sketchy, but
No, it says it's
that's just a quick Yelp review, you know.
yeah. Well, the guy that set up the website did it all for me. So I'm hoping this is all good. Right, Sean? No, he's been helping me all through all this, and it'll come, but it did tell me it was going to take one day, and this is the third day. So, oh dear. But we'll get it to you, right? A little after Christmas. Okay. Next question. Favorite meal or restaurant in Cardiff?
We haven't been around much, my wife and I, but went to a couple date nights, but the Custom House across it's like right on the bay, right by, like, they call it something different here, but I call it like the locks. Like,
out there, like the things. Yeah.
Like across from, if you're looking out from the back of the rink, like right across there, there's like a kind of like an old, like, looks like kind of like White House style house. And it's got a restaurant upstairs and downstairs. And it's like one of those ones where you kind of like go up to like a meat market, pick your meat, pick your side, and go back to your table.
Is that right?
It was really good. Yeah.
I don't think that I was there. I know that. Haven't been there. Okay. That sounds good.
Wasn't downtown by Chippy Lane. So yeah, probably a little bit outside where you were at.
You know, what's funny is I always talk about it, but I always wanted to be at Chippy Lane, but I had two little kids and went home at midnight. I'd go to Chippy Lane during the day because I'm a sicko.
See the aftermath.
I'd go for a kebab at noon with my kids. No, I'd actually never really I never really got to Chippy Lane when I was playing because I always was home with the kids. My night out was the BBT. I don't even think.
And you ate like a pro, right? Like you never.
Well, they'd give us pizza in the room, right? Because we were pros. They'd bring on pizza and beer into the room, and then I'd head out to the lobby and drink some more beers, and then I'd go home.
We are not in that era anymore.
You guys don't get pizza after games?
No pizza and beer in the room after games.
George brothers aren't bringing in trayfuls of beer?
No, nothing.
Do you even know the George brothers?
I do know the George brothers. Me and the little one there, were dancing on the D floor like first night in town for like 3 hours.
Oh man, they can dance.
He's a kisser, that guy.
What do you mean, he kissed you?
Oh, he's kissing everybody.
Like on the cheek?
Oh yeah.
Which one? Steve or Chris?
Chris.
Huh. I don't think he's ever kissed me.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Maybe it's just,
maybe you guys
now COVID's going on. Thank God we're not out with them.
Well, they've been around the team a long time, and maybe they thought the new boys just got it, But you got to work your way into the locker room again, George brothers. It's a whole new team. And folks, everybody that's listening, you got to remember that it's a whole new team. They're still figuring out who they are. They really don't know yet. And it takes some tough times to figure out exactly who you are and who's going to step up and be, the big dogs and say, hey, look, this is what we do. Because I bet they're the ones that come back next year.
Brothers. I'm disappointed in the George brothers. I haven't seen them lately.
Well, I think they're like growing up. I think.
Yeah, you hate to see it, really.
Well, it's really tough. I hope they end up with Shed someday and they can get out there and be themselves again. But I think Steve's like playing house now, doing a full reno, and I don't think it's hitting Chippy Lane anymore.
Yeah, he's got like a girl out in Canada that he's seeing, but
I see him doing renovations on a house. He bought a house.
His brothers in like Nottingham all the time. I'm like,
they're in love.
What is this?
You know what that does to people, folks, right?
Makes them. Does it make them better people?
I don't know.
Is my wife here?
I'm out my shed, and the kids are there, and I thank you to them for the support though, because I couldn't do all this without them letting me. But we're going to wrap Christmas presents right after this, you know?
Right on.
Yeah. Pretty exciting times. You know, this is a story I've never told before, but there's no way this Christmas can go worse than 2 years ago. We had got a dog. Santa had brought a dog the year before, and I took him out for a walk right before the neighborhood was going to have a road hockey game. So I'm like, well, let me just take the dog out and then we'll go play road hockey. And we're out in a farmer's field, like 500 meters from the road. And the dog sees a jogger on the road and he takes off. And I'm watching this and I'm like, he's going to stop before the road. And I'm yelling. And then the jogger's like gone, like way gone. And you can see everything because there's nothing around here. A car's driving down the road. And I'm like, oh, that's nice. Nah. And then the dog runs out to the road to see where the jogger went. And he runs out to the middle of the road and is looking around. And then you see the car coming and you're like, nah. And then they hit their brakes finally. And anyways, I like sprinting. I get there. The dog's been hit. Take him to the vet on Christmas Eve. There's no more road hockey. I take the dog to the vet. He's got a broken hip and they're like, can't do anything about that at this vet. You're going to need a big city vet. And I'm like, oh, that's awesome. On Christmas Eve, bet you it'll be cheap. So then family Fred knows a vet and he leaves his Christmas party in, I guess it was Thornbury, Ontario. And I drive there about 2 hours away, hour and a half with the dog, Christmas Eve. Leave him there and come back. And I didn't get home till well after like 1 a.m. And then the next morning was Christmas at jeepers.
Misty-eyed Christmas.
It was the worst Christmas Eve you could have when your dog gets hit. And then the kids are bawling, don't know what's going on with their dog. And it's like, Merry Christmas. So everything's going great so far.
There we go. Just keep the dogs away from the street this year. We'll be fine. Leash
is going to be on. Hey, Twix, you having a Twix? That's still happening, eh? Oh, man.
Oh, yeah. Last night, after a poor performance by us, fans sent probably the most Twix that have been on the Cardiff Devils ice all year.
Well, there was a fellow wrote to me and said, like, I appreciate the team and everything, win or lose. Like, this is the last game we get to go to for a while. They deserve it. And they said they're going to throw on all sorts of stuff, not just Twix, eh?
Oh, yeah. There was quite a few. Obviously, we were disappointed in ourselves, but
it's nice to have the support of the fans, right? Even in downtimes, it's nice to have the support of the fans, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I know I appreciate it. I'm on the wrong side of the page here. So have the Twix, like, is it growing? Is the Twix movement growing, or is it or have we plateaued?
Before last night, I feel like we'd plateaued maybe. So I have to, like, I don't have to, but I do like jump into the boards thing. And then apparently there was some backlash. I was only jumping into certain section.
Yeah. They all want a little Mac. They all want a little taste.
Yeah. Block 13. So now I make my way around all four corners.
That gets exhausting after a game.
Yeah, there's some cramps going on in the calves when you're trying to jump that high.
I saw you do like a belly bump into one.
Oh yeah, belly bump. So I don't know if the Twix get picked up before I'm done, which is very possible. We have some Candy Crushers on our team, but yeah, I haven't seen too many before last night.
Well, I thought there was like a squeegee kid that came out and everything to pick up all the Twix.
I don't know if we're paying that guy.
Wow. Todd doesn't pay anybody. I already know what he does. He wrote his MBA thesis on how to run a hockey team with volunteers. Look, see what he did in Belfast? That was the MBA, folks. And guess what? I'm running a podcast with all volunteers too. We get posters, we get websites, all from volunteers.
Just donations.
Well,
Donations.
just great people helping me, right? And it's so thank you
People
to
helping people, they say.
it is a powerful thing, and it's like the Mears is at the hockey world, people helping people. Thank you everybody again. But Lee Freeman making the posters, and then Sean Collins building the website.
Yeah, talk to that guy a little bit on social media. Seems like a great dude.
Oh, he helps me with everything. I'm like, dude, I don't know how to get the money out of this raffle. He's like, you click here, and you click here. I'm like, okay. But now it's up to the website. They're still pending. But yeah, that guy's helped me with everything. I'm like, I'm not sure if I really like the look at that. And he's like, okay. And he just changes it. And then he gets to play around and do what he wants with the website. I'm not a micromanager.
It's a good GM there.
Where are we? Okay. Favorite meals or restaurants at Cardiff. Have you been to Chippy Lane?
Yeah. Well,
what'd you
me and
order?
my wife have for sure. Yeah. We almost got kicked out of a cab because we went to the Donair on Chippy Lane there.
Bet you it was after a win.
Oh, yeah, probably. Mm-hmm. Well, for sure. Yeah, I don't usually go out after.
Nope, no, we don't, folks. Happen. So just because you're upset, so are we. I know. Okay, Go ahead.
Go home and eat Twix in my corner of my room in the dark.
Don't even melt them on ice cream.
Yeah, my wife makes me sleep on the couch after losses.
No hanky panky after losses, folks.
Exactly. Yeah, we went to Chippy Lane, went to the Donair Kebab there, and just potent like smell, right? Coming off that thing late night, and I probably wasn't the neatest of eaters at that point in the night. And we get into the cab finally and head back home, and the cabbie's like, hey, could you guys please not eat in the cab? And we like both look at each other, we're like, we don't have anything. Like, it's just all coming from our breath.
Oh,
like
he thought you were eating, and you just
smelled
so the Donair kebab. So I've been having a real argument with people lately that write to me about what we call Donair kebabs. So I'm really curious, and I would like someone to explain this to me, maybe from the Mediterranean area of the world. But from what I understand, there's shish kebabs, which is stuff on a stick, right? Then there's doner kebabs, which might be the French word for donair, for all I know, but doner is in Germany. That's what they call it, right?
Isn't it Turkish?
Turkish, but like but like Mediterranean, right?
Like most like owners of them are like Turkish though.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. I was friends with most of them. But then there's also there's the gyro, right? Or the euro. So what's the difference of all these things? What is the name of the gosh darn lamb that you shave off a stick and you put it in? The name of the
lamb is the gyro or the gyro.
So what's a donair? That's the same thing.
Donair,
and what's a kebab? So what is a kebab? A kebab is a family of things then, I believe.
I think that's like I just asked for the donair when in Germany. I don't say donair kebab, I say donair.
Right. And there's the doner, which is on a pita, but then there's also the yufka, which is in the wrap. Yeah. You should have been. Yeah. The yufka was where to go, right? That's how we stayed light.
Less messy.
Well, you stay lighter too, right? I was a pro back then. And, the pita, a little more carbs.
one donair a week for me. That was it.
Oh, is that right? I was about 5. I was about Monday to Friday.
I was only Monday. So like we play that Saturday, Sunday, and then only Mondays.
Wow. You can get carried away. And I didn't know that they were that bad for you, right? I didn't really understand nutrition, and they made me feel happy. So I ate them. But I still, if people want to help us out with this, right? So what are we going with? What do you call it? A doner kebab?
I call it a doner.
Just a doner.
Yeah.
Right.
And then I either want it on the normal pita or I just ask for a tortilla.
So you're saying that it's a gyro on a doner?
Yeah, because you can get a doner with the chicken though.
Right.
Like they have the chicken too, right?
Right.
They have the lamb and then they have the chicken.
So you're saying you're getting a gyro doner. That's what you're saying.
That's what I think. I don't know.
Right. Because if you want the chicken, you can't just say you want a doner, or you're not getting the chicken. So what are we doing here?
I'll get a doner with chicken. Like, you
See?
got to say something else.
This shit will put your mind in a pretzel. And I love it, folks. So somebody just explain it to me. Lay it out there for us. We, I'm still making it once a week. Anyways. Okay. Where are we at now? Okay. Chippy Lane. I asked what you'd order and you told me you got the kebab and then you weren't even eating. So were you wearing like a nice suit and you had stains?
Oh, no, nothing. Just like, I was wearing like a nice like top, like a long sleever, like button down, and probably some like Lulu ABC pants or whatever. Like, I was looking good. Wife was looking probably better, but
what's ABC pants?
The Lulu slacks. Lulu makes slacks.
Mm.
That's what all the boys
I really should get. I'm thinking I really should get sponsors so I could get like new stuff.
Some new swag.
Well, I'm still wearing like the Cardiff Devils clothes I got 6 years ago now. My winter coat is a Hellbrunner Falcon coat.
We got to get you some stuff sent out.
Yeah, exactly.
The old man said he wouldn't be in for an hour, but he would be in for a segment. And I go, I don't know if I trust your filter.
Oh, really? We should have had him zoom in like you did with Knox. We should have had him zoom in just to ruffle up your feathers for a bit.
Oh yeah, I'd be real flustered.
Oh gosh. Okay. This is one thing I do want to talk to you about because I always think about things to talk to people that live in Europe that other people don't really understand. Okay.
All right, lay it on me.
Tipping. So now that my raffles are over, my tip the podcast thing, it's funny because it is so ridiculous. Like, yeah, I put in a ton of hours. Okay. I've never asked to be paid. Yeah. Tipping the podcast is the coolest thing ever because it's happened about 10 times total. And every time it does, I literally like my knees like start to shake and I like almost drop to the ground. Like when an email comes in, I'm like, you can't be serious. Like just someone sent me $10 and was like, I appreciate what you're doing. And you're like, oh my God. But every single tip has come, excluding one. Every single tip has come from the UK. And I still remember the first family meal in the UK. We go into a Weatherspoons or whatever they're called. I got the Colby's like 3 years old or 2 years old. Zoe's still in the oven. And we go into a restaurant and we sit down and we just sit there and we're looking at each other and we're talking. And then we just kept sitting there and nothing was happening. Right. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. I know Europe.
So, did you realize when you got to the UK that nobody was going to come to your table ever?
Well, yeah, I've been in Europe a bit since then. So I knew like, all right, I'll just go up to the counter, go up to find a server pretty much.
Yeah. Cause like in Germany though, the waitress would eventually come, but like in the UK, they just never actually come. Right. Like you actually
now it's probably different though.
Well, I don't know. You'd go to the bar and like you would order your food and then you sit back down and get like your number at the table, right? Like there's no actual waitress. There's a food deliverer.
Yeah. Now we got the COVID stuff though, like the
right.
QR codes on the table.
Oh dear. What's that? I don't know. Yeah. That sounds.
You just get your phone, like the little square
thingy,
barcode thing, and menu comes up, click it, put your table number in.
Oh.
Dialed, but yeah, I do.
The world's changed. What I was trying to get at, I found it very
what
interesting.
Are you tipping? Are you tipping in Europe or no?
In Europe, well, Germany, it was like you round up $1, right? Like if you're giving over like the 80 cents or whatever it was, like that, they almost thought it was rude if you gave them extra, right?
Yeah,
In Germany, they'd get mad if you didn't know and you tried to tip them €5. They're like, no, like they're already paying me. Back off.
Germany. Yeah, we would tip to like the places we went quite a bit, like whatever it was, $3-4, like nothing like we tip in the United States or Canada. But then when I was in Hungary, I was there for 2 years, and like, so I would go in there, and like first time I'm like, hey, like I would leave like money on the table because I didn't have a credit card yet, and then I got my credit card finally, or my debit card that I was using there, and they don't give you an option. So you'd like ask, and as soon as you speak English in these places, the tipping criteria for that country goes out the window. Then by the end of my 2 years, the servers would come up to me like, "Do you want a tip?" I'm like, "Yeah," and they would just already have it fucking dialed in, like 10-20%. Like, but the first year I was there, it was no tip. You can't tip. I'm like, okay, well that's fine. And then they figured it out, like they could take me for 5-10 years.
You're getting hosed, big guy. I never tip
Yeah.
nobody. I hate tipping. I hate tipping people for anything. And that's what's funny about me asking for tips, because I think it's funny because I don't tip anybody for anything. Like waitresses, 15%. Like, yeah, that's what I give in Canada. And like that, they say that's low. And I'm like, well, I don't know. That seems like enough to me, but like, why? It's like in Germany, it's so different, right? In Canada, they want to do a good job, so they get more of a tip. In Germany, they don't give a shit because they're already getting paid, but they do the best job they can, and they got way more to do. They're working harder, but they're making a wage, right? And the whole thing's just interesting me. And then you get to the UK, and there wasn't even a waitress. Like nobody tipped because there was no waitress. There was nobody to tip. The only person to tip was the bartender, because that's where you placed your order. But I find it very interesting that the only people I've got tipped from are in the UK that never actually tip people, right?
They don't know how. This is new to them. They're excited.
But like, and hey, just so you know, folks, if I wake up in the morning and you've dropped a tip in there from the website, aleshockeytales.com, if you drop a tip in the middle of the night, Canada time, and I wake up in the morning, I tell you, blood flow, big time, right? But seriously, there was literally a time I had an agent tip me. And this was an agent for a player. And he says, "I love what you did for my player. He's in a, like, whatever, got his name out there, and I made him look good." And the agent tipped me. And I was like, "You're telling me I went out to my shed and started drinking beers with my friends, and I met new friends, and now I'm getting tipped by agents?" Oh, that's the hockey world coming together, folks. One pod at a time.
Oh God.
Right?
Yeah, you know,
keep it rolling, folks.
That's more money. Let's go.
No, it's just great though. Like that Mac and everybody are come on like in the holidays, and like I know you guys are busy, and like now you got practices through the holidays, and it's like it's busy times being a hockey player, busy times being dads too, and working. It's, and if people didn't make the time for me, none of this works, right?
Love it. Good time out of my day too.
No, seriously. And it's, I don't know. It's so fun for me. Okay. Here's one of your last questions then, unless I think of more. Okay. Favorite thing to do on a day off?
Favorite thing to do on probably jump on the sticks with Mosey is up there.
Jump on the sticks with Mosey. That would mean play video games, right?
Yep.
And the sticks would mean like you're playing NHL against each other?
No, we're on a team. We're PUBG, it's called, Players Unknown Battlegrounds. Yeah, first person shooter or third person shooter.
What does third person shooter mean? What is
like,
first?
Like the camera's over
you're behind them.
Yeah.
What game is that? That's the game. That's what it's called, or that's your team?
That's the game. Yeah, that's our jam. Flying in with 100 unknown people, just him and I versus the world.
So you guys are a team in that?
Oh yeah.
Is it like Fortnite then? You fly in the world? Because my kid plays that.
Oh yeah.
That's exactly what it's like.
Fortnite, minus the building of ramps and stuff.
I don't know. So do you have to plan when you two can play together, or you play individually, or you play with other guys? Do you get other guys involved in your getting on the sticks?
Yeah. So like Call of Duty came out with a new deal, a new map or whatever, and a couple of young guys on our team, well, not young, I guess 95 borns. They jump on the twigs after.
Hold on. Did you just say 95 is not young?
Well, I'm a 92. I say they're young. They're only 3 years old.
Oh my God. Yeah. You haven't even reached 30 yet, eh?
Close. A couple months.
Research team found that. But like, man, I'm an 83, and to hear those, it's like, yeah, it's weird how every year it just gets further away.
Like, I can't believe like 2001s are playing in the NHL, you know?
It's very strange. It's very strange. Yes. Gets weirder and weirder, but like it's weird for me because I used to know a bunch of guys in pro hockey. I used to know a bunch of guys in the NHL, and then all of a sudden, like, there's Jason Spezza left, right? Like that's and Joe Thornton, like that's about it. Like, and used to know a whole bunch of guys, and yeah, it's just weird. But now back in the game, now I know you still play. It's your fourth. It's like your fourth pod in like 3 months. I was gonna say it's your fourth pod, like 3 months.
Just getting real busy, trying to get my name out there.
Well, I didn't even know you 3 months ago, but I've enjoyed every time I've spent with you. And then you say you'll come on anytime. It's like, well, geez. And see, we found stuff to talk about, didn't we?
But yeah, I'd probably play video games or have that my little pint board that I take.
So where's your wife when you're playing video games?
She has like friends in town. That she'll either sit in the room and take a nap or go to someone else's house.
She supports your video gaming habit.
Yeah, she's pretty supportive for the most part. And there's times where she puts her foot down.
Kind of like potting.
Yeah, she's like, I know that you like to do this to talk to Mosey and, catch up with your friends, but now it's time to hang out with me.
Well, it makes sense. It's just like hitting the shed for a pod. Sounds like the same thing.
You can have your couple hours. It's fine, but let's go.
Yeah. Pick and choose wisely. Yep. Yeah. But seriously, thank you so much for coming on. And like, I don't know what else to say, but like, it's weird for me because, I wanted to catch up with you and I see what's going on in Cardiff and like, I don't know. I kind of have a feel for it of like just seeing Instagram or just seeing Twitter. And it's like, holy moly. Like I couldn't imagine like dealing with all that when you got the COVID stuff happening, you got the fans being negative and you're like, man, everybody should just relax. Like, let's all just try and enjoy life still a little bit. Right.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of what I wanted to sign up for a little bit, right? Like you want to be on a winning team and that's kind of what comes with it. To an extent. Obviously the COVID stuff is super unfortunate and I hope it doesn't last too long. Because I know a lot of fans kind of rely on that for a little outlet or release from their normal lives. But yeah, any support that we can get from them, obviously, for the next couple of weeks here would be huge.
That's always appreciated, the support, right? Like, and that's what set Cardiff above every other place to play was the fans and like how passionate they are. But also like, I don't know, I guess it was different when I was there because we were on the rise and we weren't supposed to do anything because they just had their worst season ever. And then all of a sudden it's unexpected, right? It's like in Germany when you're the low budget and then everybody just loves it. And now that you guys are the big budget team in the league that has all the expectations, it's like either win or you're useless. And it's that can be exhausting, but anywho, not that I've been through it.
No, I mean, it's good to have expectations already. It challenges you a bit, but a lot of hockey left. Hopefully, I hope so. Yeah, hopefully,
for everybody's sake, right? Like, man, that'd be awful if it could shut down. And like, I can't wait to watch to see what happens because to me, it's like, yeah, it is the way it is there. But like, when a team's backs up against the wall, you find out like who the leaders are, who's gonna like step up and be like, listen, like enough's enough. Like, let's do this. And that's what will happen. You'll figure out who the handful of guys are that will be the core for the next bit, right?
Yeah. I mean, I hope we get enough time to figure that out here in the next couple of days. I know that next game is going to be a bit wild. I'm sure the boys have been coming out flying
with no fans,
with a fire lit under our asses a little bit here the next couple of days, I'm sure, with the 2 practices here. But no fans is going to be tough, obviously, for some guys. Like, I've played with it before, and it's just a little more mental preparation. But I don't know. I don't know if too many of the Brits have played with no fans. Maybe in that Elite Series thing.
Did they? Yeah, year, I think they did play with no fans in that. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, so most guys have done it. Obviously, it's not as
fun.
Not as I wouldn't say fun. Playing hockey's fun, but there's definitely not as much atmosphere. But yeah, there's so many more momentum swings. Obviously, I've never played without fans in pro, but like the momentum swings are wild. Like
that without fans or
no, without fans. Like you'd be up 4-1 and lose 5-4 like that. Like
really,
there's nothing like.
Why do you think that is?
I just think like, especially in Europe, like you're up 4-1, like feels like you can't even get the puck out of your zone without like the building shaking. You know, like
when you're on the road and like the fans can be. Yeah.
And then even as a goalie, like you let one goal in, and you're up there. Now you're down 4-1. It's like. Feel like you can't even breathe sometimes, you know. It's like snowball effect, or like like you're in Sheffield and everyone's on top of you, like even though like,
and it's like when they all get behind you and they're all with you, and it's like we cannot be stopped and we are just gonna run over this team, right?
Oh yeah, and you got guys burying bodies on the forecheck and stuff. All of a sudden crowd keeps going nuts, like,
and then it just snowballs.
You can't hear anything on the ice and it just snowballs on the other team. And have that is a big hit. The only noise is coming from the bench of 15 guys that aren't on the ice at that moment. And then, you know, they big hit, guy makes a play or whatever and goes back down the other way and scores. And then the other 18 guys are celebrating. It's like, well, no momentum there all of a sudden.
You should see the momentum swings in under 11 hockey, dude. Like seriously.
Whoever brings the most parents.
No, the parents they just should zip it up there. Like just like when things go wrong, it's like the kids handle it better than the parents. It's like I'm keeping them focused over here. I don't need you guys over there yelling anything. Like we're trying to stay focused here. If things go bad, we don't need you guys going, oh, in the crowd. Like I need them ready. I need them focused on the next shift, not what already happened. You know what I mean?
Not why my mom is sighing and awing and oohing in the stands.
There's been some interesting situations this year. We'll say it's been an interesting few months of highs and lows coaching kids and some parents. And it's like I'm doing this voluntarily, and it's like, I just want to coach the kids. That's like, I just want to go in the room and hang out with them now. Like I'm not going to the lobby anymore. I'm not talking to your parents. I'm coaching the kids, you know, see you at the Christmas party.
So what are they? They're 12
and 11s, 12s and 11s. We got a mixture.
You're kind of right in like the growing up stage where like, all right, parents, it's time to like,
I don't let them in the room anymore. I don't. Back, you know? Yeah. They still like at the start, they like, cause the kids can't quite tie their skates like tight enough. So the parents were going to like the first exhibition game or two, we're going to come in and tie the skates. And I was like, yeah, I got them. I'll tie them. You guys get out of here. Cause the boys couldn't be themselves when mom or dad come in there. You could see them change who they were. They went from being themselves to like making sure that like they were being good boys. Like instead of like there was kids twerking in the room when we'd win a game. And it's like, well, you're not going to do
being in the locker room and you're now pretty much in your living room.
Well, it's like, you're not going to do that in front of your mom. And you're going to do it for the boys. Right. But
yeah,
yeah, it's just interesting. The whole thing is interesting, and it's like the highs and lows. You win a game. It's like they said, we should be a minor hockey team forever. I wish we could be a minor hockey team forever. And then you lose the next game. And it's like, not even sure if these kids are learning the fundamentals. Like, why are these other teams just getting so much better? And it's like, holy moly, folks, reel it back in.
Well, maybe it's because the other teams have 50,000 kids to choose from. Or
To be honest, no, like our team is right there with everybody. Their coach got kicked out last game. That didn't help. It was nice. It was nice of a couple of the boys to tell me that we would have won the game if I wouldn't have got kicked out, but kind of made me feel bad for raising my arms. I never knew I was being, never realized I was being so mean and that I never get kicked out of a minor hockey game. I didn't even swear. I didn't even say anything. It's tough though.
12-year-old hockey. Love the parenting.
Well, you made your whole family move for you at that age. I remember that. You know,
that is true.
So,
but they were. I was gonna say I don't think the old man was too involved off the ice.
No, and everybody's been good. To be honest, everybody's good. It's just I like when after you lose a game or say you've been kicked out of a game, you shouldn't stand in the lobby after a loss and chat with people about like the game. You should remove yourself from that situation because you weren't out there to coach anyways, and we lost. And there's always tomorrow.
Yeah, losses never bring out the best in people, especially me. So
well, but that's how you learn, right? You don't learn from winning every game. And it's like some of the times when we've lost, it's like, well, we could take this lesson, and this lesson from it. And if we would have won that game, everybody would have just came in here high as a kite and been like, hey, we're the best team ever still, right?
Yeah, even though you probably made the same mistakes.
Well,
you don't learn a lot from mistakes they make in a win, I feel like.
You don't learn anything because you got away with it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you lose the next game.
Yeah. And that's why you try and learn from your losses and then win the next game. And that's all you can do, right?
I hear you.
And the real world's not that different. Things go bad, then you try and figure out why and you try and fix it.
That is life.
But nobody's there screaming at you, telling you you're a horrible person and that you suck and you're too fat and you're too slow. And this team was way better before we signed a guy with one leg. But anywho, positivity is way better. And when people enjoy their lives or in the zone, they can play way better hockey. I know that. And I hope all this baloney with the virus and all the crap just gets dealt with so you guys can be hockey players and do your thing, right?
Yeah, it'd be nice. Like beginning of the year was great. It was absolutely fantastic. I mean, up until this week, really. But
right. Yeah. And that when that starts getting in guys' kitchens, man, there's some guys that can roll with the punches and deal with stuff. And then like there's other guys that like when there's stuff in doubt and there's things in their lives they can't control and like there's stuff happening, like they can't cope with it as much, right? And it's going to affect their play. And folks, just give them a second here, right? I don't even know who I'm talking about.
Very fresh wound. As they say.
It does. It sucks, man. Like it sucks. But I don't like to talk about all that. But like I just wanted to catch up with you. It's Christmas and everybody should be enjoying the holidays. And I hope everybody enjoys this episode. And I'm so sorry if I was too negative today, folks.
Came in hot. Parents were upsetting you. Cardiff Devils fans upsetting you.
I just had to get it off my chest before the holidays, right?
Get a good start going for Christmas Eve.
But yeah, no, it's all off my chest now. That like it's like I come out here to see the doctor and like get everything off my chest. Now I'm fine.
little vent. It's all right.
Yeah, no, but like, man, I'm the biggest Devils fan ever, and I hope you guys get to keep playing. I hope you get to play in front of your fans, and like the thing is it's those momentum swings. It's like when you guys win your next game, or the games when the fans are back too, and like when you guys get that snowball rolling, and you guys figure out the players that are going to step up for that team, step up and like show what it's all about, like. Once you guys start rolling and figure out as a team your identity, right? Like you guys are a completely new team that didn't know each other and you guys don't really know who you are yet.
Yeah. I mean, it's been 5 months. Like we've been on a little streak. We've been pretty streaky, good and bad, right? So it's tough. But yeah, I think identity is we're lacking a bit right now, but we'll figure it out.
Exactly. I got no doubt. I've met a bunch of you, and
Yeah.
I got no
We're
doubt.
like, our locker room is so tight too, which like obviously we lost O'Connor there last week. Good to see him land on his feet, I think, in Romania.
Oh, did he? I didn't see that. He went to Romania?
Yeah. He like, I don't know what the official word was, released. And might be in Romania or wait until after Christmas or something. I'm not 100% sure, but
good. Yeah, no, it's good when people get to play, man. That's
landed on his feet, so it's good to see that. And but like I said, we have a great group of guys in the room, like super supportive of each other. So pretty much just that attitude, us against the world, for the rest of this foreseeable future here with no fans, and see where that takes us.
Yeah, man. I'm excited to watch it. I look forward to you guys just running amok and going on a roll, and then I can't wait to have you guys all on.
We might have to fly you in for the ceremony at the end of the year.
It's funny all the ideas you could come up with this. It's there's so many options. You could take the shed. It's hard to focus sometimes. But that's what I got to do now is I got to focus. I'm going to be off until, I don't know. I got Monday and Tuesday off, folks. So probably going to drop a couple in there, but I don't have anything booked right now. So I'm going to take Christmas, and I hope everybody has a great Christmas and has fun, and all this COVID baloney goes away, right? So you guys can play hockey and enjoy the sport that everybody loves. And why everybody listens to the Shed is because they love hockey, and they love, most of it's a lot of the UK fans, and or they're just hockey people, right?
Hopefully get a few Jackson Hole listeners in here. We'll see if I can pump the tires over there.
It was really nice to get to learn about it, because I didn't know shit. We'd already talked 3 times and I still didn't really get where you're from.
That's, it's the I would say the poor man's like Aspen, but it's definitely the opposite. So
well, you got ski hills, you got cowboys, you got rodeos. Sounds pretty fun, but I can see why you got to move away to play hockey.
Yeah, the billionaires bought out the millionaires long ago.
And that is what Yellowstone's about, folks. Great show. I don't mind supporting it.
It is a good show. Super good.
Yeah,
boys are into it. New season.
Oh boy.
Buzzing.
It is great. Well, when you see Mosey and you're hitting the sticks with him, which used to be called golfing, tell him I say hi.
Will do. I think he's with the girlfriend probably right now.
Oh yeah.
He's in love.
I know, she was even involved in that last pod with you.
I can't believe
Legs
that.
and Eggs.
I can't believe Legs and Eggs had a woman present for it.
I know. Well, Legs and Eggs usually, right? The way you explained it to me in your first episode was that there are women involved. Yeah, but anyways, he is in love because she was part of the pod, and it's great to see him happy. And it sounds like he's playing hockey really good because he's happy, right?
Yeah, he is having a great year. So we'll see. Hopefully it doesn't continue against us. I think I kept him off the score sheet last game, which I was pretty pumped about. Well, yeah, you always want to. Everyone else probably scored on me, but whatever. Mosey didn't. And we won. I don't think so. Your numbers look pretty legitimate. One thing I always was curious about, especially now that I have a research team, is there's goalies that have like over a 900 save percentage their whole career. And then there's goalies that have like below that, but then like play in the NHL for extended periods. And it's like really weird to me because you look at their numbers and you're like, is it the way they move? Is it the way they go like post to post? Like, why is it that there's goalies in the hockey world, and I've played with some of them, that like they went like to the NHL and stayed there and made millions, and like every year they have below 900 save percentages? Is it because the way they move, or is it because they were like, what is it? I don't get it. I honestly, if I could tell you, I'd probably be over there. I'm a believer in like, if you get an opportunity with a team it's kind of like forwards too, right? Like forwards, like there's guys in Europe that should probably be in the NHL, and there's obviously guys that are in the NHL that should probably be in Europe, like vice versa. But for goalies, it's there's teams that also they go through injury troubles and you get your shot, you play well for those 15 games.
And then all of a sudden the fans take over. They're like, this guy's legit too, right? Like,
yeah. And then those 15 games you play well, and then then another team wants you because they're missing a backup or missing a 1B guy. And then you sign a 3-year deal because that's the only way they can get you to stick around. And then you're there for 3 years. And then over that 3 years, you have another, 50, 60 games where you're maybe average, maybe below average, but you're still in the NHL and you're proven to be at that level.
Caliber.
Maybe not this level, but you're at that level.
Yeah.
And then you got a young guy that's, maybe a 2000 board now, not proven, but is putting up sick numbers, but is never given a shot. And then he's over in Europe hanging out.
Well, exactly. It's so interesting for me. It's like that Jack Campbell that came to the Leafs now, that guy was a career backup, just like hanging around. And then he finally gets a chance. And now like he's the starter, but like that guy was about done, right? Getting a chance. And that was just because he never got one because he was behind quick. And it's like, well, I don't know, the whole thing, man, being a goalie, that'd be some stressful shit for parents, kids, everybody.
Do not recommend.
No.
If I ever get blessed with kids, my kid will never strap on goalie pads.
Well, you know what's funny about you saying that is there's some dads in this neighborhood, this neck of the woods that say the same thing that were goalies. And like the one I was coaching his kid, I'm like, well, your kid's not an out player. He's a goalie. He wants to play goalie. Like he's telling you he wants to play goalie. So pretty sure if it walks and talks like a duck, it's a duck. But yeah. And then my kid's definitely a forward. Zoe.
0 D zone in his game.
Oh, we're teaching him that. I never got taught that at a young age. That guy is getting it drilled in at a young age. It's defense first all over the ice. I find teams don't win unless their top players are willing to play defense. If they're not defense first all over the ice, your team doesn't win. If that's your best players. And no, that's like, I don't know. It was probably the coolest moment I've had as a dad was we got home. It was a game, he didn't have a good start, but I run the door so I could be there and like really talk to them and hear them talk to each other. So like, I know what they're into, what they're saying. If I'm standing behind them, I got no clue what they're saying to each other. So I'm down there and I'm listening and like, I can be pretty hard on him, but like, I'm just being honest of what I'm seeing and what he needs to do. And like, he would get stuck in doing the same move every time or whatever. But we get home one night and we pull in the driveway and he's about to head in. It's after a game. I was like, hey buddy, like, I know I'm pretty hard at you when we're at the rink, but I think you can take it. And he goes, Dad, I want you to be hard on me. I want to get better. I'm like, okay, kid, see you in there. And then he got out of the truck.
Proud dad moment for
it
sure.
Was just like, well, just the way he answered was like I'm not being too hard. I'm not like, I'm just telling him what I think he should do. Right.
Yeah.
And
that's good. It's tough being a dad coach too, right? Like you gotta kind of be more hard on your kid than any other kid, or else
I definitely am.
Bad news bears, right?
Yeah, no, I definitely am. And it's tough, but like it's a balancing act with everybody. And it's like getting to know each kid and like what you can and can't get away with. And it's like that ref figured out what I couldn't get away with, right?
Yeah, now you can't raise your arms. Yeah. Might as well just yell at him.
Don't show him up. Should have thrown some F-bombs or something, right? Yeah. But anyways, seriously,
earned your kick out.
No doubt. But anyways, you got anything for me before we shut her down?
I got nothing. Just tough sledding here in the UK, but Cardiff, we appreciate your support through all this and see you on the other side, hopefully.
No doubt. I just hope my minor hockey season goes too, man. Cause like you build a team.
Dialing in a bit or no?
It's our last game was postponed before the holidays. So yeah, it was postponed and there's it's whatever. It's like you guys, man, you bring a team together, you bring all these guys together and you become brothers, you become a team, and man, it's got to keep going. It's got to keep going for me. It's got to keep going for you, like for everybody involved, and like for every different industry, for everything you're doing. Like we were not the only hockey players, and like me losing my minor hockey season with my kids, and like there's so many people that would like it just yeah, right.
We need it. We just gotta get through this crap and get over it.
No doubt. And then everybody's gonna start having fun and living life, and
that's what it's all about, living life. I don't need to be told what to do.
Exactly. Anyways, I love it that you'll come on anytime. I'll try and leave you alone for a little bit. I'll try, but you know what? You're a Shed superstar, and I like talking to you. And this has been another episode of Two Ales and Hockey Tales with Mac and Wally. No Mosey.